In this video, I want to introduce you to a metaphor called tug of war. The tug of war metaphor is a really impressive metaphor that I think ACT uses exceptionally well, in that it goes out and brings together what defusion stands for. It looks at how defusion goes about letting go of discomfort, letting go of that fight, letting go of that struggle that we hold so often. Now, tug of war is a metaphor where we tend to fight with our thoughts. We tend to hold our thoughts so tightly that we get consumed with them. And when we hold them tightly, we tend to then get pulled around, dragged around. We get to get pushed around by them. So the tug of war exercise, or the tug of war metaphor, looks like this. Here's a thought that gets thrown to me, right? The mind gives me a thought and it tends to somewhat put it in my hand, and as it comes into my hand, I've got a tendency to grab. And if I hold this thought tightly, it begins to pull back on me. And when it pulls back on me, like what Isaac Newton has demonstrated so well, that every action has an opposite and an equal reaction, if thoughts pull on this, well, then I'm in a struggle with the thoughts, and I will pull, and all of a sudden I'm in a battle, I'm in a struggle, I'm in a fight with these thoughts. And while I continue to fight with these thoughts, they continue to control me. And the reason why is there might be other things that are really important to me that are in that direction. So there might be values, important things in my life that I want to attend to, but then all of a sudden I start having this struggle, this fight, and I'm pulling over here. And where am I now looking? Where is my attention? Where is my focus? It's certainly not over here where those things are, where my values are that are important to me, but more so it's over here. And not only that, I'm fighting with these, and I'm going through what's right, what's wrong. I'm challenging, I'm going out and disputing, I'm fighting. I'm doing all of these things over here. And what have I forgotten about? What's out of my awareness now while I'm over here? And if I do look that way, it's really hard to be fighting over here, trying to gauge those things that are important to me. It's very difficult to go out and do that. So what I want to do in this metaphor is look at what would it be like, and I would actually do this with a client where I always have a rope in my clinical room. I would give a piece of rope like this to the client, and I would just start pulling. I'll just start nudging on it. And all of a sudden you see the client start pulling back. And I start gentle, and then I get a little bit tighter and a little bit more and more. And then all of a sudden we're in a bit of a fight, and we're in a bit of a struggle. We're in a tug of war. And there's a couple of things we can go out and do. I could pull harder. I could go and put more weight behind me. I could call in reinforcements. But once again, I'm missing out on what's important to me. What I could do is step forward, and that way try not to fight. But inevitably, the tug of war continues, because they will step back and keep pulling away. So those thoughts will keep stepping and pulling away and stepping back and pulling away. And so I'd be back into a real struggle again. So the metaphor says, what would it be like if I didn't fight with these thoughts, if I didn't fight with the commentary, if I didn't fight with the judgments that the mind goes out and says, but rather, what would it look like if I simply let go? Now, I can't let go of the thoughts, but I can certainly let go of the struggle. I can let go of the fight. And when I let go of the fight, I can now put my attention to those things that are really important to me. I can now go out and move towards what is of value to me and in the direction I want to go. Now, what will occur at this point is the tug of war isn't over. When I take a step, those thoughts will follow me, and they will continually try to put this in my hand. Even when I'm walking away, they follow me. And my job is to keep my hand open rather than closed. And I just want to open it up so it drops away, And that's what diffusion is. It's about seeing the struggle, noticing the thoughts, not getting caught up in the thoughts, not getting caught up in the fight, in the struggle, but rather opening up my hands, allowing them to be there, focusing on what is important to me, looking at what's beneficial, rather than spending more time over here in the fight. So that's the tug of war metaphor. I think it's very useful to do this in a practical sense. So make sure that you go out and you get yourself a nice elastic or strong rope so that you can go out and have a good old fight with your clients, a good old struggle, a good old tug of war. And then what you can do is you can keep talking and start pulling until they let their hand go or they stop that struggle. And you can still then follow them and throw the rope at them. And when they grab it, grab the other side and pull again. And so eventually they'll learn to let it go again and learn to let it go. And you repeat this over and over and over. And it's a very playful type of approach, but it does go out and reinforce it each and every time. Sometimes I'll walk out to greet my client at the beginning of the session. So I'll go into the reception area and I'll bring this along and I'll just hand them one side and they'll naturally just grab it, and I'll start like that and we'll have a bit of a chuckle, have a bit of a laugh, and once again we've done some diffusion. So we start off doing diffusion in a really light, non-structured way. It's very playful, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to simply let go of the struggle. Not let go of the thoughts, let go of the struggle. That's what diffusion's about. So take that along, put it in your toolkits, something you can go out and use with your clients, and also consider about what is it that you might be struggling with yourself. What is it that you're fighting with? Take care.